Here is another match from 9.1 first test iteration, this one in the Centurion. I was playing the Centurion trying to get the marks of excellence to show up for it, but they only showed up after a certain amount of battles, and I got them first in the Object 430 and T-54.
Time to roll out.
So we've landed on Swamp, in a tier 10 game, of course, as is usual on test. 3 RD per team, so we don't want to be sitting still for too long. There's quite a few mediums in this match on both teams. I decided to play the match as I normally would on the NA server, which is to head up to the east side of the map and do some shooting from across the bridge. Unfortunately, I'm not able to get 140 before he moves into position, but I do have an angle on the E50M, but then he also moves into cover. The Conqueror isn't quick enough though, and so I get a shot into him. They are looking this way, but there are other tanks up here with me, so they aren't necessarily looking at me. In fact, they are looking at that IS-8 who is busy getting slam dunked. I take advantage of this, and while the Conqueror gets dealt with, I pop up to deal with the 54E1. Now, it is risky sitting on this ridgeline, even moving between shots with that many artillery, but they don't seem to be focusing in this direction. One of them has just fired, and they seem to be going for the heavies. So I decide to use this position a little more. Unfortunately, I whiffed that shot rather badly. Bat exposes himself trying to clip me, and actually gives up all his hit points to our Batchat Artie. The Batchat Artie often gets overlooked because it doesn't hit hard in comparison to, say, a T92, but it will hit you very hard if it does land a shot, particularly if you are in something with no armor. That's not even considering its autoloader. Now the Foch is going to be a bit more of a problem than the Batchat was, but with a little help from my team, and also with help from that recent nerf it got, I'm able to quite easily pen its rangefinder from this distance, and so it moves into cover, trying to hide from me. The E50M's still behind solid cover, and just popping out to take shots at me while I'm distracted. So I leave him alone. I took a shot at the Foch, but wasn't able to get it, so I shift around a little, trying to keep the hill between myself and the Foch while also keeping buildings between myself and the E50, but at the same time I want to move up on this guy and finish him off. So while he's occupied shooting at the heavies behind me, or the heavy and the tank destroyer, I pop in, unfortunately track him for 0, but notice he cannot depress his gun over his engine deck. He has the same problem I do in the Centurion. He has to turn his tank around to actually fire his gun at me, and when he does, he bounces. I get in behind him and quite comfortably deal with him. And with that done, all that's left is the enemy 121, who's away in the north. I start heading up that way, although I don't expect to get shots in. Although it was quite in the air at the beginning of the game, it could have gone either team's way. We rapidly got our shit together and cleaned these guys up without too much effort. So there I'm able to make a pretty nice snapshot on that guy, and he dives around the corner, so that's the last shot I'll get this game. Perhaps not a very exciting match, but basically a formulaic Swamps match in a Centurion. If you can control that south ridge, you can really get some work done in this thing.